Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. I am here with your weekly forecast for the beautiful week of November 30th through December 6th, 2025. So, the themes for this week are dreams becoming real. Maybe not all the way real, but there's going to feel a little bit like something that maybe was stuck is opening up a little bit. Karmic turning points, as well as the courage to choose a new direction, to choose a new path if one's soul so feels called. So let's go ahead and get into what's going on. There's kind of an arc at the start of the spiritual opening. And then there's this in the middle of this karmic pressure and some recalibration this week. And then finally, there's this grounded clarity. And the planets that are active this week, Venus is very active. Venus, Neptune, Pluto, the nodes, Jupiter, and Chiron. We also have a full moon this week. So begin in deep water. And we begin in deep water, we end at the wider horizon. So Sunday, November 30th, we have Venus trining Neptune. And this is really wonderful because they're both Venus is at 29 degrees Scorpio and Neptune is at 29 degrees Pisces. And so this is the anaretic degrees of both of those signs. You guys know I like to talk about how that could mean some challenge and some shadow. But here this is a kind of a tender, it's a mystical, it's a spiritually attuned aspect. A trine is a flow of energy. With Venus at the final degree of Scorpio, trining Neptune at the final degree of Pisces, this is a completion point. It's a completion point, but Neptune is about dissolving, so it's also a dissolving point. So it might feel a little bit like a sacred release, like something we've been carrying or that's been bothering us. Somehow just we're ready to let it go, or it just releases itself. So emotionally, this might feel like compassion washing through the system. So if there's something we've been carrying and feeling very justified, there might be this sense of if compassion washes through the system, then those old stories soften. And maybe the long held griefs or grudges, they can kind of lose their grip in a way that they may have felt very entrenched. And even in the matters of love here this week is becoming less about possession, having this wonderful partner. It's more about understanding and what it means to be a partner. This is also a day when you might feel emotionally sensitive, but that sensitivity, remember, is intuition. It might be also just connecting to the cosmos, connecting to something larger than ourselves. So to start on Sunday, the day I'm offering this is a really great day for meditation. It's a really great day to do a ritual. It's a really great day to work with water. And it's also a good day for forgiveness in the terms of releasing. And I'm going to offer that because we're the microcosm to the macrocosm, self-forgiveness. So on Sunday, I would say be kind to yourself. Let yourself drift a little bit. And there's a sense that something old and maybe even beneath the surface is being shifted on Sunday. On Monday, we have the Sun sesquiquadrate Jupiter. Sun's at 9 degrees Sag, Jupiter's at 24 degrees Cancer. So this is kind of a subtle tension. This is where the week's going to start to kind of heat up a little bit, but it's a good type of pressure because we have the full moon too. So this is a tension between belief and emotion, between the story that we're telling ourselves and the one that our heart actually believes, the one that our heart actually wants, the one that our heart actually feels safe with. So the Sun in Sag, we're in Sagittarius season. Sun in Sag wants growth, wants meaning, wants expansion. Sagittarius is the archer with his arrow pointed towards the galactic center. Sag likes big trips, and Sag likes to remind us that we are star stuff. We are from the galactic center, and that's where we're going back to. Jupiter in Cancer, on the other hand, wants emotional security, familiarity, protection. So having them be sesquiquadrate can feel like an internal pressure point for us, wanting more, but also wanting to stay safe. So that might bring a sense of restlessness or over optimism followed by a little bit of doubt, taking on more than one can truly hold. So today, I would say, is a good day to think about the word moderation. Expansion is possible. Expansion is happening. Expansion is exciting, but in kind of Saturn's not an aspect here, but you know how Saturn likes to constrict to make sure it can really the thing can exist in the 3D world. Here it's about expansion is possible, but it must be emotionally sustainable with Jupiter and Cancer. It must be emotionally and energetically. Our emotions are our guiding points. It must be energetically sustainable for us. So this is a good day to ask, is something aligned with my capacity, or am I trying to rush my becoming? Because we're almost likely feeling a little bit held up. Lots of retrogrades has been happening, and things are going to start to flow, and part of us want to speed out the gates, but really today's not forcing, not trying to rush. It teaches us, Monday teaches us discernment between true growth and emotional overreach. Tuesday, we have Venus sextiling Pluto. So she just trined Neptune. So I was saying Venus is active this week, sextiling Pluto. So this is where now she's at 1 degree of Sag and Pluto's at 1 degree of Aquarius. It's very different energy from just 2 days ago. This is where the energy is going to intensify, and it might intensify, sharpen a little bit, but sharpen doesn't mean you have to get hurt by it. If we're seeking clarity, we're seeking sharper vision, we're seeking to hone our compass. So so Venus enters Sag, and the first thing she does, she immediately forms this trine with Pluto and Aquarius. So this is desire with depth. This is connection, but with consciousness. This is attraction, not for its own sake, with purpose. So there's this Venus is adding with Pluto is adding this karmic sense of what we feel drawn toward. And it might be something unexpected. It might be a bold new vision, or just something that kind of surprises us, something that feels, I would say, follow the emotion of it. It should feel good. It should feel expansive, excuse me. It should feel uplifting and liberating. So there might be a conversation. It might have to do with relationships. There's lots of different kinds of relationships, but things that are important to us. So this is not a superficial thing that's happening, though, that this is like magnetic realignment when Pluto's involved. So it might be that there's values are shifting, or what we think we want is being refined today. But it's as if the truth of the emotional aspect, the truth of the vibration of what's happening is really uh, impossible to ignore and is very easy to see. So today is a really good day for doing things creative. It's a good day for setting intentions financially. It's also a good day for transformational conversations or transformational activities. Also, it's a good day for releasing something that no longer reflects who we are individually becoming. It's a good day for letting those things go that we're just doing out of autopilot. And so it can feel like something about what we want is changing, but it's asking us to honestly, authentically change. And so the next day we have the next day? Yeah. No, the next day is Thursday. The next day we're coming up to the full moon here. Mercury is quincunx Chiron. And this is a subtle but tender emotional mental healing day for us on Thursday. So old stories around how we might assert ourselves, how we might speak our truths. Authenticity again is present here. How we respond to um, friction. And so this is about not this is something that's coming up not because the wound is being reactivated. It's about having the ability, having done the personal work, to renegotiate and to rewrite some story about something. Not a day for confrontation. It's about a day for listening between the words, listening to the energy, listening to the communication, the true communication energetically of what's said. And the question is not who is right. The question is being what's asking to be healed through communication. And I'm going to remind us that communication, especially on this day, is much more than words. The next day, oh no, just kidding, you guys. That was the full moon. Sorry. I keep my full moon calendar in another place. So Thursday's going to be a full moon. I will put a podcast out about that precise um, alignment. There's a lot going on in that chart. But for now, let me get to Friday, December 5th. We have the Sun square the North Node and Mars trining Chiron. So Sun squaring North Node. This is about a karmic crossroads. This is a healing activation. Karmic crossroads and a healing activation, excuse me. But the idea here is it's as if it's a destiny check-in point. If you think about Hecate, the goddess of the crossroads, a crossroads can feel scary, but it's also about clarity and alignment. So the sun shines directly on the tension between who we've been and who we're becoming. And this is, since sun is in Sag, and this is sun in Sag is really reminding us about the bigger picture. And there might be some stories and some fears that resurface about why we're not worthy to do what part of us thinks when we listen to that whisper of our soul, oh, I'd like to do this. And there's a voice, no, 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 I'm not going to do it, crazy, da, 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 not worthy. That conversation might come up today. Um, but there's a part that's being wanting to be rewritten. And so the resistance, the truths that the whys and the fears aren't wrong necessarily. Those things can be existing, but they are also inviting us to not hold so strongly to the why, to release it so that to realize that fear is coming from a part of our past identity, and there is a possibility that the universe is listening and that there's limitless possibility and things can come out of nowhere, and we're being asked to kind of soften. But as this is happening during this day, there we might feel pulled in two directions. We might feel a little bit murky about which direction to go. We might feel tempted to just kind of retreat into our safe space. But what's also happening today is we're being activated and we're being made aware that there's a choice that's coming to us that we're going to be invited to make. And so the question with the sun squaring the North Node is, are we willing to grow even if it unsettles what feels familiar to us? That's the nature of what we're all living through collectively right now, too. Like, humans are creatures of habit, and as we're going through this cosmic collective reboot, this intergenerational planetary shifts that are happening, yeah, it feels a little bit unsettling and unfamiliar. The stars are saying that's okay. It's okay. It's part of the rebirth process, right? But also let's get to Mars trining Chiron. So the beginning of the day, that Sun square North Node is at 7:20-ish a.m. And then that's going to kind of feel like, whoa, what's happening? So during that part of the day, stay present, stay and just observe with what's going, and maybe don't make any super rushed actions. It's a good day to kind of write things down in a journal. And by the time we get to the evening at around 5 o'clock, Mars is trining Chiron. So this is going to open a healing pathway for us. But this is Mars trining Chiron. So this is courageous healing. This is where action becomes medicine and where movement becomes integration. And when we speak our I am truth authentically, we are liberated. So it's a really good energy for somatic release. I will be doing a somatic meditation later on today and emailing that to you for this week, for this middle of the week part that we're moving through. But also honest conversations and kind of reclaiming our confidence. So I just want to remind us, Friday is both a crossroads and a breakthrough. And it might be the case that we don't have the full answer yet, but you will feel some clarity and some energy flowing through you that you remember. So trust it. By the time we get to Saturday, Saturday is a blessing. Saturday is Mercury trining Jupiter and Venus sesquiquadrate Chiron. So this is mental blessing and emotional tenderness. Mercury's trining Jupiter in the morning. This is kind of this beautiful Mercury's in Scorpio, Jupiter's in Cancer. It's beautiful, it's expansive, it's emotionally intelligent. So there's a chance for us to deepen our understanding of the things that we value, the things that we hold true to us, the things that we want to manifest in our life. And since we just are coming off the heels of the full moon, there's going to be this sense of full moons are those times of aha moments, realizations. The perspective is going to widen here. The aperture is going to open up a little bit on the lens here on Saturday. And conversations, communications of all sorts, whether we're speaking or whether we're expressing ourselves, they can feel meaningful. And this meaning is going to give us um, encouragement and drive. And so this is the idea, is that we're going to be encouraged to feel what is true, that our wisdom comes through feeling. So it's another great day for heartfelt conversations. I said that a fair amount this week, but it's also a day for writing or creating, or like I said, communication doesn't have to be that we're sitting down at a table with chairs facing each other and communicating, or even talking on the phone. Anything that we creatively do can also be a communication. It's also a good day to have take check and make some spiritually future oriented plans. This might also be a part of us in the morning where we have an aha moment where if something that was happening earlier in the week or even further back, it might finally make some sense. Because we're talking about, we're being encouraged with the bird's eye view here of what's happening in our world, personal and collective. And so sometimes when things aren't working out, it's actually because the way we think we need to go to get to where we want to go isn't the most efficient route. And the universe knows there's a roadblock up ahead in the way that we want to execute it. So the universe is going to help us circumnavigate something, for example. But let's get to Venus sesquiquadrate Chiron. That's late in the evening on Saturday. And so this is going to give us a sense of maybe a soft vulnerability. But, with Chiron, it might feel like a button gets pushed or an old wound kind of gets touched on, but it's asking us to be tender with ourselves and to be gentle with ourselves and to realize that if something does come up and it makes us feel fearful or unworthy or stuck, to entertain that maybe that story is outdated and to just be willing to entertain a new story, not having to find the new story. This isn't a problem to solve. It's a space to hold with compassion for ourselves. And so this week is going to end not with closure. This is also just a part of what's happening right now. There isn't any magic pill. We are the change. So we're not going to feel closure at the end of the week. We're going to feel self-love. We're going to be invited to be kind to ourselves. So again, to kind of just go over this again, the week kind of goes in through three phases. And one of them is kind of on Sunday, and that's the spiritual softening, the emotional release. And the middle of the week is going to be this kind of karmic recalibration. Desire meets destiny, intense energy. And then by the time we get to Saturday, the 6th, there's this wisdom, there's this wise integration, and I'm going to say tender self-honoring, to honor ourselves and realize that we are worthy and we are the ones that give ourselves everything that we need. All right. Have a transformational week. It's not a loud transformational week, but it's a soul level realignment. And it's subtle, but it's deeply consequential. And like I like to say, subtle energy, outer planets always win. So let's listen to the subtle energy this week and stay tuned because I will be sending along a meditation. And also, we're smack in the middle of the Lunar Herbal Alchemy Intensive. I'll put a link to join my email list if you haven't had a chance to join yet. It's all being recorded, and I would love to have you join me. All right, guys, bright blessings.